Hello everyone. Today's topic is a comparative study of value system of Japan, China, America and India. So today we will study about a culture, value system of these countries. So to understand any culture, value system is first considered. So the value system means the motives and ends of the culture which have been defined and considered as ultimate and paramount by their wisest men. Thus, the principles and wisdom of any culture happen to be preserved in the form of its value system. So, as defined, values are considered subjective and vary across peoples and cultures. Value system, so it can be defined as hierarchy based on a ranking of any individual's values in terms of intensity. So a value system is set of a consistent ethic values and measures used for a purpose of ethical or ideological integrity. A well-defined value system can be called as a moral code. So here, let's discuss the importance of values. Why these values are so important. So here, I'm highlighting few points which play a very important role in value management. So the first one is development of employees. Managers can use the value system for all round development of their employees because values aid to vision. This helps to develop knowledge, even moral growth of employees. Secondly, it helps in motivation. Value can act to awake your hidden talents in you. You have it all in you to go ahead with courage and to have a faith to realize your full potential. So motivating oneself and motivating others to call for ethical right values in organization. So values gives a right support in staying motivated all the time. No matter how demotivated or how stressful situation you are in. Third point, underlie managerial behavior. So the study of values is fundamental to understanding of managing and organizational behavior. The value orientation of manager underlie managerial behavior. Next is determining the behavior. So values helps to determine a behavior up to a very large extent in the organization. Thus, the manager can bring changes in the desired way through the behavior of employees. Next, it helps in bringing change. Organizations are united through values, and values are facilitated organizational change when they are reassessed and brought up in a line with organizational structure objectives. So this particular practice has already transformed several individuals and organization. Next is determining attitude. So values also lay the foundation for understanding the attitudes, motivation and perceptions. It also promotes leadership because managers are people who exercise their leadership by values. So they can be effective leaders by practicing the spiritual values in managing their job. So that's how it promotes leadership. The next thing is bringing creativity. So manager can remain creative in uncertain and ever-changing times by observing many ethical values. Many classic values help increasing cognitive abilities that result in a new way of viewing some problems and situations. Next is managing in borderless. So business and management are no longer confined to any national state, but they are like borderless, global. So here managerial tasks and decisions are not regulated by various international governments. In many lawless lands, the responsibility of managers is greater than ever. Hence, value-based managers and management has become the prime necessity. So manager must perform by the need of moral and professional values, not merely by the laws. Next point is involved in managerial goals. So values play a very important role because it's really much involved in a managerial roles. Values are pervasive because they involve in selection of mission, goals, objectives. So the job of planning, organizing, controlling the behavior of individuals should also be compatible with managers' values. Next is guide to life, profession and character. So here the value system play a very important role because moral, ethical, professional values determine the character of employees and manager. They act like a guide for their professional life. So they should guide the real character of their lives and to serve the nation. So value can become the basis for the behavior of its members. Next, value also help in a personality development because managers remain interested in developing the personality of their employees and fellow members. Personality is sum of total of variety of factors, but the selection of a moral and basic value is the most important factor because values provide thought, right desire and zeal to change in the right direction. Next thing is it also helps in promoting work ethic. So value system, it helps in like skills, initiative, habits, attitudes, work managers, interpersonal cohesion, a challenge to change and the quality of work. This all produced constitute important elements in the mindset of any worker today. Ethical and timeless value plays a strong role in doing a good job, and value can create a belief that work has intrinsic value for its own sake. So this was all about the value system. Now let's see the value system of these countries. Let's have a comparative analysis of their culture, their basic values. So in order to understand the members of a particular society, it is always required to have some idea of their daily lives, their tradition, their beliefs, their way of looking at the world, their value system. So value, as we discussed before, determine what is right and what is wrong for an individual, for a group of a people, for the people living in a particular nation. Individual value system, basically it's like a do's and don'ts in their life. So it forms the foundation for their characters. Depending on their value system, in given situation, they behave in a particular manner. So as we know, culture of various countries differs from each other, and today we are going to discuss culture and belief system of these four countries: China, India, America and Japan. So there may be some similarities, but they are not the same. The values, beliefs and a notion of Japan, it differs from America, China from India, and an organization is a part of the society. So therefore, as far as an organization in a particular nation is concerned, so value system also differs from another organization situated in some other country. So here we are comparing the value system of Japan, China, America and India. Let's start with Japan first. So talking about Japan, they are dedicated to service. How? Because Japanese believe in hard work. They are very hardworking people. So they believe in hard work, and they believe hard work being totally dedicated and thus provide a best quality products to the customers. So it indicated that like Indians, they treat work as a worship, and they believe Kaizen. Kaizen is a wonderful theory proposed by Japanese, which means continuous but small improvements. So that's how they are dedicated to service. Secondly, Japanese people are, they have a macro vision. Japanese value system in such a that they are more oriented to look at things from macro perspective. Japanese are patriots by nature. They love their country and they are honest and dedicated towards it. Therefore, when a Japanese joins an organization, he or she is totally dedicated and gives their best output because they know this output will automatically help in a nation building. It will contribute in economic growth and development of nation. Thus individual priority and goals and objectives, it's all become the second criteria for the Japanese. Next, they give more emphasis on spiritualism. Another, characteristic of Japanese is that they are inclined towards spirituality. They practice meditation. They attend lectures on spiritualism. They believe in intuition and sixth sense. Thus, so they lead a peaceful life, which enhances their productivity level. Next is professional life kept away from the personal life. This is a wonderful theory they practice. They always keep a wonderful balance, work-life balance. They keep their professional life very far from their personal life. Both are separate. So Japanese, they believe that they should not carry their office work at home and external problems at home. They follow custom. Before entering their home, they keep their shoes outside and go inside barefoot to indicate that external stress and the strain should be kept outside. External disturbance should not carry disharmony in their personal life. Next thing is business ethics. So Japanese believe in business ethics. They provide products and services to customers and never ready to cheat them. They provide service to community, fulfill social responsibility. They even do business very fairly. They earn profit but not at the cost of quality. So they are very ethical. They also have a good team spirit. This Japanese value system, they emphasize majorly on team spirit. In an organization or in a society, team spirit needs to be developed. It creates a harmony and positive synergy. Therefore, team output becomes better compared to individual output. So they believe in joint decision making. If it means employees should be involved in a decision making process along with the management. So sometimes they might know better than management. That's what they think, and that's the reason they involve all the people in the decision making. Therefore, joint decision making will lead to the better decision. That's what they believe, and that's why they take a decision in a team. Next is they have a holistic approach. Japanese, they're ever ready to spend on a training of the employees, as they believe that employees will be with the organization for a long period of time. So they have a holistic concern for employees. Next thing is they are very good in self-management. Japanese culture also give importance to self-discipline and self-control. So the individuals are expected to control their ego, anger, greediness, and maintain service attitude. So emphasis is more given than to take from the professional life. Next thing is their value system. So they are very courteous and generous people. Their emphasis not to express one's opinion directly. They have a two concept about the opinion. One is honi, that is a real opinion, and the temente, that is public opinion. So it is flexible in approach and emphasizes in agreeing with people around as much as possible. So they always have a two concept. Directly they never say no for anything. No interruptions. Japanese also insist to avoid interrupting when someone is thinking or speaking. They do not believe in using mobile phone in trains and unless it is allowed to do so, as it disturbs the fellow passengers. So no interruption. Then they also have a strong informal relationships, because they believe in informal relationship. For example, if an organization, employees can communicate directly with the higher authorities. Next is long-term relationships. They also have a sound long-term relationship because they look at the things from long-term perspective. They give the best service not only to nation but the whole world. They provide best quality service to the customer because they believe in a continuous improvement and ever ready to work hard with a sincerity and with the full dedication. So they know due to this attitude, customer will obviously they will become loyal to them, and the employees will feel that they are not mere the employees but a part of our organization and work accordingly. So that's all about the Japan and the Japanese. Now let's see America, which is, as compared to Japan, it really has a very different kind of a value system. So the first thing is Americans are materialistic. So in Japanese culture, we studied they are believer of relationship. They have a good self control. So here Americans are, they are more materialistic in their approach as compared to Japanese. So nowadays, when many Americans are getting attracted towards spiritualism, so things are changing. Otherwise, their real approach is towards the materials, because they realized, there is something emptiness just to be a materialistic. So that's the reason they are moving towards spiritualism. And generally, Americans, since they're focused to earn more money and enjoy the luxuries in life, so they are very much, goal oriented, achievement oriented, and interested in attaining challenging goals. They're very ambitious and hardworking. So that's the reason their relationship also are like, based on give and take, right? So here in American culture, we talk about, so they believe in developing relationship to give and take in work life. They regard that relationship should be mutually beneficial. They believe in a relationship to be formal in professional life. And that's the reason they believe there should be no interference. Since the relationship should be formal, so there should be no unnecessary interference in their life. So they're not much inclined in a family. After becoming an adult, they like to go out and have their own house. They believe that individuals after becoming adult can take their own decisions on their own, and they should stop bothering to their parents. So that's what they believe. So not a family approach like Japanese. Next is they have the one good point also, that is equity and cooperation. So they believe in equity and cooperation because they're focused in building the team spirit to attain the organizational goals and achieve objectives, because they believe by encouraging the team spirit, individual performance get enhanced. And next thing is, generally they prefer top and down approach. So as far as decision making is concerned, generally major decisions are taken at the top and communicated at lower level to take action. Just contradicting the point where Japanese value system totally was based upon involving other people also for the decision making. Here they believe there should be only a top-down approach need to be practiced. Next is no job security. Americans believe that if today an employee performance is good, he must be rewarded, and tomorrow if he is not performing good, then that employee should be thrown out. So it indicates that they do not value the job security like Japanese. They doesn't value the relationships. So but yes, they are very much loyal to their professions. Americans are more loyal not to organization but to their profession. If they get a better opportunity, they will leave the organization and join somewhere else. So they are, as we discussed before, they're very ambitious, they're very goal-centric people. So for them, their job, their career is very much important instead of the organization. Next, we will talk about India. So guys, India philosophy is instead of killer instinct and tough competition, they are very much focused on a cooperation. They're not as ambitious like Americans, but yeah, they're very much believe in a cooperation like Japanese. They are very much family oriented, but at the same time they're more emotional. So the value system of India is oriented towards family. Even grown up, while taking any decision, they will consult to seniors, not like Americans. It's just after attaining the age of 18, they just go out and become independent. So it's not like that in India. Here, whether you grow up or not means your parents would be a decision maker. Indian ethos, emphasize to respect the elders, especially the parents and teachers. Here, our culture very much focused on seniors. Then humility and respect for others, if we talk about, then Indian ethos, here it give more emphasis on humility and respect to others. Therefore, getting passes, Sunil Gavaskar, Sachin Tendulkar commented, heroes are heroes forever. You cannot really get past them. So this is the Indian value system. Then we also believe in respecting to others. It focuses to show the respect to others. Others means not your fellow human beings, but object also. Here we give respect to object also. Then we are also more into self-management because our culture, especially the Indian ethos, it's the main essence of the management. So before managing to others effectively, we believe that we should learn to manage ourselves. A person should know how to manage himself, then only that person would be able to manage others. That's our theory says. And now let's talk about China. So Chinese value system, it give emphasize on truthfulness and generous, sincere, kind-hearted, selfless by nature, etc. So they have thoughts really play a very important role in a Chinese value system. They believe thought counts. So one short story will help us to understand the Chinese culture. So once upon a time, a man went on a long journey to visit his friend with a swan as a gift. So on the way, swan escaped and man tried to catch it. But in his efforts, he got hold of nothing but a feather. So he reached his destination and gifted his friend that feather and told him what happened. So his friend became, so moved by this story and his sincerity. So for him, it was a priceless gift. The saying in China says the gift is nothing much, but it is the thought that counts and spreads everywhere. So in business world, Chinese people emphasize on punctuality. So they are very, very punctual people, and for them, thought really play an important role. Secondly, they have two words which I would like to discuss, two Chinese words. One is Jan and other is Yi. So Jan and Yi, the Jin specifically, Jin means love and friendship, whereas Yi means rightedness. So these are the two qualities which they believe that everybody should have these two qualities, and they emphasize to maintain a life full of love, harmony, and peace. So Chinese culture believe in Wu Wei. It means doing without forcing. It emphasizes on accepting and harmonizing with the flow. And last, they give emphasis on gunaxi. So gunaxi is a Chinese word which means relationship. So relationship is an important Chinese business element, I should say. It helps to minimize the risk, frustration, disappointments. It will help in ensuring that business will be successful. It will help in determining the competitive standing of an organization in the long run. Unlike Western culture, Chinese prefer to deal with people they know and trust, and trustworthiness is a very important component in a Chinese tradition. So guys, that was all about the culture and the value system. So in short, in a conclusion, I would like to say a Japanese employee, they remain in a single organization once he join it. Actually, this happens because Japan job security value most. So on the other hand, if we talk about China, hire and fire policy works on rampant scale. In fact, in America also. Major sectors have state-owned players. China practices communism, hence equitable wages exist everywhere. Job hopping is virtually non-existent because of similar opportunity, and in America, job hopping has become obvious because employees keep on changing their job in search of better avenues. Then in Japan, workers play important role in decision making, as we discussed, and as they are considered as the owners of the organization, they practice various concepts like quality circles and help organization towards achievement of goals. Usually, group incentive schemes are common practice in the Japan. In China, state is the owner of all the channels of production. Employees have got nothing to do with the decision making process. In the US, capitalism has resulted into private ownership, and employees are a part of decision-making process, but usually through individual incentive scheme. Japanese believe in keiretsu, that is a long-term relationship, as we discussed, with their stakeholders, their suppliers, and it is because of their social attachment that they collectively achieve success. In China, government maintains relationship with the stakeholders as per its community ideology, while in the US, relationship exists only at a professional level and suppliers are selected on the basis of cost effectiveness and changed for a better bargains. So this was a small summary about the Japan, China, America, and India. So that was all for today. Thank you so much for listening.